Greetings.
Alright, hello there everybody, this is Insanito speaking, and welcome to another episode of my playthrough of Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction on hardcore mode, whilst I play as an Amazon on hardcore difficulty, meaning that the death is permanent, and whilst I'm also rambling about some random stuff, whatever I can think of. I hope you guys are doing well. If you ask how I'm doing, I'm also doing great, thank you very much. But if you are struggling, I hope that you will resolve your problems as soon as possible. But if you do need advice or if you need some support, you can speak to your close ones, friends, or even to myself. I'll try to give you an advice. Hopefully, I can be as helpful. So welcome to the Act 2 of this game, which is, in my opinion, a really hard act, because there's so many unpleasant monsters that can cause a lot of trouble if you don't get rid of them as soon as possible. And also, as you can see, like, my healing potions are going to run out really fast, but I'll still be struggling with the inventory and stuff. But as I've said before, the potions here will play a very big role, especially with my support. In this case, I still have a Bea. However, later on, I decided to change my support to like more defensive character. And I think it was quite a big mistake, because Abea was helping me out a lot. But for Amazon, like, I do need someone who would just, like, distract most of the monsters whilst I just defeat them from afar. But you shall see what happened later on, so it's not like you will have no idea what happened. You will see. So the first quest is about exploring the sewers of LoD, which is the city that we have started the second act on, and we need to find a lair of Radament, I think that monster was called. I kind of forgot for some reason. You shall see the name later on during this gameplay, and I'll just remind myself. And as you can already tell, these monsters do cause a decent amount of damage, and we also just realized that I'm out of mana potions, so I just need to kind of keep an eye on it, especially when I cast the fire bomb arrows, or explosive arrows, I mean. So it's going to be an interesting challenge for me. And most of them monsters here in this sewers, they are the fire casters, so fire resistance does help a lot, because as you can see, there are some shrines which provide me the resist fire, or fire resistance, so it does help. It does bring me a boost to protection from fire damage. I do get damage still, but not as much as if I didn't have the fire resist boost. So yeah. Whilst we are exploring the sewers, trying to find the lair, just wanna say a couple of things. Today's been a very busy day. We're talking about Sunday. Today is the beginning of the July, which is the 1st of July. It's quite awesome. So I think we've just started the second half of the year. Quite excited, because this month I'm gonna start a proper healthy lifestyle. I got myself some kitchen scales, so I'll be able to distribute my foods more appropriately, so I can just, like, look after calories and all that stuff. So it's all good, it's all sorted. I also got myself a personal set of dice for Dungeons and Dragons, and I gotta tell you, they look absolutely amazing. I may actually do a separate video on them. Just want to show you guys what they look like and how nice they actually go. Like, because they have a very good rebound. So like they're quite jumpy. If I describe it in a simpler language, which is good because the ones that I've used, they're a bit too stiffy. So like, you know, they don't roll as effective as the ones that I've got now. And I also have a really cool pouch. It has a really strange symbol on the front, kind of looking like a butt, to be honest, but these are actually elvish runes. I'm gonna show it to you all on the video. I'm gonna film it, so you will see what I'm talking about. It's actually pretty interesting, so it's very nice. So yeah, so just got myself some really cool stuff. And yeah, just like did some shopping today. Like just to get some like food and clothing and all that stuff. It's pretty nice. But today the weather is especially hot. Like here in the UK, the summer is very hot. Like didn't imagine it to be so over the regular temperature, but you can expect everything from English weather. It's everything can happen, so I'm not necessarily surprised as I would be, but you know, still nature is just going against us. You know, climate change is a serious thing. You know, so yeah, as you can see, I'm still suffering from you know, lack of space on inventory, but you know, this is something that I must do just to keep me going, because these potions, they go away like really fast. Oh, and I got myself a new pair of boots, which is pretty handy. They got a better stats than my current pair of boots, so that's pretty good. Oh, and I just teleported back to town just to sell the unnecessary stuff. And yeah, just still continuing to go through this dungeon or sewers. Still going strong, actually. But there were some moments where I've gone near death.
I can't carry anymore.
So yeah, and as you can see, I just you know, try to pick up the bolts, mainly because if you don't pick up the bolts because of lack of space, it's still fine because it refills the quivers that you already have. So you don't necessarily need to pick up all of all of the quiver. So you can just mainly refill what you've got. Here's a waypoint, which is quite handy. And yeah, if you saw those zombie-like creatures, I think they're called Decayed. They are quite annoying because when they die, they just like spread this toxic gas, and if you by accident come through it, you'll get poisoned. That's why the antidote potions are very handy in Act 2. Act 2 itself, it's a pretty challenging act. Like, there's lots of unpleasant surprises. So you can get poisoned, you can just like basically encounter a lot of monsters which cause a lot of damage. Yeah, everything can happen here. So right, these ones are called the dried corpse, but then the other type of the similar monsters are called decayed. So that's pretty much what is going on here. Yeah, so as you can see, like this toxic gas, so like just wait until it goes off, and then just like you can simply walk through the area without getting any poison damage. Also had a really good game of Dungeons and Dragons yesterday on Saturday. We've lost a lot of characters, mainly because of our companion's silly mistake, who also died, by the way. He just created a character, like last week, and he had his first encounter today and he died, mainly because of his strategic mistake. And he also forgot that he had a very important spell that could save his and other companion's life. And the other companion was very, very powerful. But, you know, the monsters got the best of him, unfortunately. But yeah, it's the campaign itself is very difficult. But surprisingly, I was the MVP for the last 2 sessions, which is, you know, very cool. And I caused a lot of damage whilst not getting a lot of damage myself. So I'm just like going strong so far, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to last forever. So just need to keep the ball rolling, I guess. So yeah, so we are looking for Radament. So this is level 3 of the sewers, and the lair should be somewhere here. So we're just looking around, seeing what's up. Got the mana recharge buff, which is very helpful for an Amazon. I mean, it's useful for all the classes, but Amazon uses a lot of mana on her, you know, it's like skills and all that stuff. And yeah, so just enjoying life, I guess. So yeah, just can't wait what's gonna happen in the next session of Dungeons and Dragons. And it's going to be the first session when I'm going to use my personal D&D dice set. So it's gonna be nice. It's as I've said, it's this dice really lets me to like fully randomize my actions and stuff. So it's pretty good. Okay, so I think, yep, there we go. So here's the Radament's lair. So we just need to defeat the monsters here. Now the thing is that Radament is a type of monster which is quite well known in Act 2. It's basically like the shaman from the Act 1, but with Radament, or you know, Hallow One, it can resurrect all the undead creatures. So it can be the dried corpses, the skeletons. Yeah, so it can resurrect all of them, no matter what type of monster it is. As long as it's undead, it can resurrect it. So yeah, as you've heard, the Radament saying, "Oh, we'll live again." So yeah, as you can see, the skeletons just keep rising. And here's Radament. So quite a buffed creature, obviously, and does take a while to actually defeat Radament, but mainly because I ran out of mana and I don't have an opportunity to cast my skill much. But you know, when I can, I do use it, so yeah. So I'm just waiting until I get an opportunity to either refill my mana or to just basically cast my explosive arrow, because it does cause a lot of damage, which is pretty nice. Okay, so just keep destroying Radament. Oh, and Abaya is dropping, going low on health. And there we go, Radament is dead. Awesome. So we're just sorting out the inventory whilst Radament is just getting all the souls off. Actually, it's a pretty cool death animation.
Atma has been avenged.
Yeah, Atma has definitely been avenged. Atma is the person who asked us to kill Radament, so it's all good. Alright, and then we got the book, which gives us a free skill. And I think I just increased the level of my explosive arrow for now. But then later on I've decided to start concentrating on leveling up my javelin skills. But still, I'm just still not using javelins for now. My main weapon of choice is going to be crossbow. But then I've noticed that the crossbow has a very, very low accuracy. Like it's ridiculous. But it does help when it hits, because it causes a lot of damage when it hits. But when it doesn't, it's, you know, quite a waste of bolts.
I am overburdened.
Alright, and we also get our first item for the second quest, which is the Heraldric Scroll. And what it does, it activates the second quest, which is very important because it gives us lots of goodies, but the second quest is quite long, hence I'm not going to show you the footage of me completing the second quest in this episode. Yeah, so I also just double checked what's my reward for completing this quest, but apparently it's just discounts from merchants, which is helpful. But you know, I'm not using them much. I usually just sell stuff rather than buy stuff.
Blessings to you.
Well, I mean, I think it also works on the repairs. I'm not entirely sure. Who knows? So yeah, we're just gonna speak to Deckard Cain, and then he tells us, oh yeah, well that's what we need to do. So our first item of interest is going to be the Heraldric Cube, which is located in the Halls of the Dead in the Dry Hills, and that's where we went. And yeah, and then we're gonna pick up the parts of the staff, and then we're going to use the Heraldric Cube to connect these two parts. And I think this is the moment when I have changed Abea into another character who is going to assist me, and at this point I've realized that it was quite a bad move, because Abea was quite helpful, but Wahid or Wareed, who I decided to pick up because he's defensive class, has been quite helpful at some extent, but you know, I do need to buff him up as soon as possible. So I need to get a better weapon for him, I need to get an armor and all that, so he could survive for longer. Definitely. And here we are in the Rocky Way, so we just got off Ludgaleen. And here begins our adventure in Act 2, and as I've mentioned before, it is quite frustrating. So yeah, as you can see, Wareed has almost died already, so just need to keep an eye on him and just like keep his health up. Otherwise, if he dies, you know, it may cause some trouble for me, but like I would survive in most cases, but just need to be careful. So yeah, we're going towards Dry Hills for our first destination, and that's when I've realized that Wareed doesn't use the one-handed weapons. I think he's more of an expert in two-handed weapons like polearm, spears, etc. Alright, so we are getting close to the end of this episode, so thank you very much for watching my videos. If you enjoyed them, that's absolutely great. If not, I completely understand. Do let me know what you want to see next. And if you have any criticism or just some comments, that supports my channel quite well. Do support my channel if you wish. There are so many ways. Upvoting and commenting does help me a lot, as I've already stated. And yeah, so hopefully the next episode will be released quite soon. But for now, thanks again. This has been Insanito, and have a pleasant day.